I'm going to show you how to make the best crispy pizza at home. This is the tandoori chicken pizza full of onion, peppers, chicken. This pizza is crispy, cheesy, so delicious. Without further ado, let's get started. Hello, Chef presents. Alright, first we're gonna start by making our pizza dough. Here I've got some salt, dried yeast, and you want to use this strong white flour. You could also use 00 flour instead. Salt, and now just give this a really good mix. And now you want to grab around 512 grams of water. The water temperature needs to be around 35 Celsius. It's the sweet spot for activating yeast. Too cold and the dough rises way too slowly. Too hot and you might kill the yeast completely. And with the yeast, give this a really good mix. Should you be adding sugar to yeast? You can, but it's not always necessary. In quick recipes, sugar helps kickstart the yeast and speeds up rising. But if you're using flour and letting the dough rise slowly like overnight, the yeast feeds just fine on its own. So for slow fermentation, you want to skip the sugar. And now using your mixer, you want to knead the dough. Slowly add the water mixture and let it mix for around 10 minutes. Let the dough come together. If there's any dough sticking to the sides, make sure to scrape it off. This is the only easy recipe for pizza dough that you will need. Why you need to pay 15, 20, 30 pounds at the pizza shops when you can make an easy, delicious pizza at home? It's much more flavorful and it will be more cheaper to make at home. So the flour has done kneading. Let's remove it. And now you want to stretch the dough slightly and shape it into a ball. Use the edge of your hands and do this motion. Now grab yourself a ball with a good touch of light olive oil. And now just make sure to spread that around. And now just remove your pizza dough into that. A light touch of olive oil on the top as well. This will prevent the cling film from sticking to it. You can also use a wet kitchen towel and lay it loosely over the dough. Now you want to let this proof for a few hours or overnight for best results. You get deeper flavor, a chewier texture, and a dough that's way easier to stretch and shape. Short proofing works, but cold slow proofing, that's where the magic happens. Alright, let's check our pizza dough now. Looks amazing. I'm just gonna carefully open this. Once your dough has finished rising, you want to lightly flour your work surface and divide the dough into equal portions. We're looking for around 250 to 280 grams per piece for a standard pizza. So this should give you roughly around 5 pizza balls. So like I said, use flour whenever needed. Now you want to take one piece of dough, fold the edges underneath and gently roll it into a tight, smooth ball using your palms. The goal is to build surface tension so it holds its shape well during proofing. You want to place the dough balls on a flour tray or inside a covered container, leaving space between each one. Let's carry on with our next one. Again, same thing. Honestly, one of the best pizza that you guys gonna try. It's gonna be nice and crispy, so flavorful. This pizza recipe is so easy. Save your money and go and make your own pizzas. Cover them with a damp cloth or cling film. If you're using cling film, make sure to add a bit of oil, so it won't stick. And then you want to let them rest at room temperature for about 1 to 2 hours for a quick proof. Now while that's rising, let me go through the ingredients that we're going to use for our pizza. Now you can make any pizza that you like. Today I'm going to be making a tandoori chicken pizza. Go ahead, tandoori chicken, the recipe's on the channel. I've got here passata with some herbs, which are basically blended tomatoes, or you can pass them through a sieve. I've got onions, mixed peppers, some of the jalapenos, black olive, totally optional, but you can also use some of the green chilies. And for the cheese, I'm using here mozzarella and also some of the cheddar cheese. I'm also going to use some of this spicy mayonnaise. Alright, before we start assembling our pizza, turn up the heat to around high. We're looking for around 230 Celsius. You always want to preheat the oven before you start baking your pizza. Once the dough balls have puffed slightly and feel soft and airy, they are ready to shape. Lightly flour your work surface and your hands. Here goes some of the semolina. When you're picking up the dough ball, use a bit of the semolina or flour just to ensure it won't stick to it. Gently lift the dough ball and place it down. So this is how we're gonna shape our dough. Press it from the center outward with your fingertips, turning it as you go, leaving a slightly thicker edge from the crust. If anything is sticking to your hand, you can use a bit of flour, just a little bit. Now you can pick it up carefully and stretch it over your knuckles or forearms, letting gravity do most of the work. Keep rotating it until you reach your desired pizza size, usually around 10 to 12 inches. Also, if you find the dough is sticking to your hands too much, you can use a bit of oil. Now you want to lay the stretch dough onto a pizza peel or baking tray dusted with semolina to prevent sticking. You should always use semolina because the flour will just burn in the oven. Now poke few holes with the help of your fork just to ensure we don't get any bubbles in the middle. Now if you want a crispy pizza, you must pre-bake this before we add our toppings. So this will go in the preheated oven at the lower shelf for around 5 minutes. So our pizza base has cooked for around 5 minutes. I'm just gonna get rid of the excess semolina. First we're going with our pizza sauce, which is just straight on passata. And I'm going with some of the cheddar cheese. A good touch of mozzarella. You know, don't be shy, it's your own pizza. Extra toppings always. Here we go, some of the peppers. Some of the onions. Black olives. You know, use whatever toppings you like. Extra chicken is always good. Some of these jalapenos make a bit spicy, you know, throw in some of these green chilies as well. Light touch of salt and pepper on top. I like to throw in some more sauce on the top. Finally, I'm gonna finish it with some of the more cheese on top. Oh, now this goes in the preheated oven for around 10 minutes until the cheese is completely melted and it's nice and golden brown. We're looking for a nice crispy base. You want to make sure it's at the lower shelf for best results. Alright guys, the pizza is ready now. Looks absolutely delicious. Look at that. We've got a nice crispy crust. Our crispy tandoori chicken pizza done. You guys are gonna really enjoy this. Trust me. Alright guys, I'm gonna try this. It looks so mouth-watering. Like I said, it's so nice and crispy, you know, perfect base. Bismillah. Just gonna try with some of the sauce. Wow. That is so mouth-watering. You can see how crispy this is, exactly what we're looking for. Delicious chicken with onion, peppers, jalapenos is so good, you know. Pizza is cooked to perfection, absolutely. Look at that. It's so tasty, you know. One of the best pizzas that you guys gonna try, trust me. You know, the crust is just perfect. It's a bit chewy, crispy, and soft at the same time. So good, trust me. Look how crispy this is. A perfect bite. Bismillah. One of the best pizza recipe that you guys gonna try. Trust me. I really hope you guys will enjoy this pizza recipe with your family and friends. Please do me a favor and get this video to 5,000 likes. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Alright guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure subscribe, make sure you like. Inshallah, see you next time. Until then, salam. Make for your mom. Make for your dad. Make for your family. Enjoy.